to be investigating whether different milk types with different properties have different heating times. Milk has long been considered a constituent of a healthy diet, but with rising allergies and lactose intolerance, it has become necessary to seek out different milk types. The varieties are endless: almond milk, rice milk, oats milk, or even soy milk. There are a variety of milks out there, but each have different properties. In the culinary world, cow's milk is the accepted product of choice. However, allergies to cow's milk are rising at an outstanding rate. The Australasian Society of Clinical Immunology and Allergy suggests that approximately 2% of preschool children have a severe and potentially life-threatening allergy to cow's milk. Furthermore, an intolerance to lactose, which is where lactose cannot completely be digested by the bowel, affects approximately 10% of Australians and up to 25% of Americans. It stands to reason, however, that different milk types would have different properties, and that this is going to result in different usages in the culinary area. One property that is necessary for consideration is heating, as the time taken to warm milks can determine the outcome of many food products. For example, a cake with a milk that fails to heat quickly is going to demonstrate dissimilarities to a cake composed of milk that heats up at a faster rate. For this reason, it is essential to discover which milk types are affected by heat more than others. Convection can be defined as the heat transfer by mass motion of a fluid, such as air or water, when the heated fluid is caused to move away from the source of heat, carrying energy away with it. Essentially, convection is the process by which milk heats once placed in a saucepan on a heated stove. As the molecules heat on the base of the pan, they gain energy and become more mobile than molecules further from the heat source. And as hot liquid is lighter than cool liquid, the energized molecules move upwards. This process is influenced by viscosity, which can be defined as a fluid's resistance to flow. And viscosity is different in each milk type, hence affecting the rate at which each milk type heats. The aim of this investigation is to investigate which milk type heats the fastest. Several variables need to be controlled to enable a fair test of the dependent variable, which in this investigation is the time taken for heat to reach 70 degrees Celsius, after the independent variable, milk type, is manipulated. These include saucepan size, material and starting temperature, heat source and temperature, and any interventions made. To control the saucepan size and material, the same saucepan is used on the same burner, allowing in excess of 15 minutes between trials to enable consistent starting temperatures. No interventions, such as agitating the saucepan or stirring, will be made. The hypothesis I'm testing is that animal-derived milk will reach 70 degrees Celsius faster than the plant-derived milks. Now it's experiment time. Here we have our trial of goat's milk. We have 1.5 cups of goat's milk placed in the saucepan. This is the exact same saucepan that we'll be using for all the other trials, and we're going to turn it to the exact same heat setting on the exact same burner. This is to help us control the variables. So, 1.5 cups in, we'll turn it up to heat setting 12, and we'll start the stopwatch. We'll hold the thermometer in the centre of the saucepan, making sure that the red tip is submerged, and place it as far into the centre as we can without it touching the bottom. 2 minutes and 56 seconds later, we can see the steam, it's reached the temperature, we'll record the results, and of course we're going to repeat this trial to make sure this is a fair and valid test too. We've allowed the saucepan to cool for a long duration of time, placed 1.5 cups of fresh goat's milk into the saucepan, calculated the temperature, which again is 21 degrees Celsius, and we're ready to conduct another test. Turn the heat setting to 12, start our stopwatch, and now we get to wait and see whether this compares to the original reading. After these two readings are taken, we'll compare and produce an average, and then we can compare this to our other milk types. As you can see on the screen, there are two tables indicating the results of the trial. The first table is the raw results, so test 1 and test 2 for each of rice, cow, almond, oat and goat's milk. The second table, table 2, shows the milk time compared to the average time taken to reach 70 degrees Celsius, and then a few of the characteristics sought from the nutritional information provided by the milks. These include protein, fat, carbohydrates, lactose, sodium and calcium. The table on the screen features the time taken in seconds for the different milk types, rice, cows, almond, oat and goat, to reach 70 degrees Celsius. This table illustrates that rice milk took the longest time to reach 70 degrees Celsius. The two animal-derived milk types in the investigation reached 70 degrees Celsius faster than the plant-derived milks, being oat, almond and rice. A decrease in time taken to heat also correlated to an increase in protein. From the results, it is evident that cow's milk and goat's milk also contain lactose, and lactose is a protein. Proteins are denatured by heat, and denatured proteins increases viscosity. And as discussed earlier in the introduction, increased viscosity leads to a faster rate of convection, where convection was the process by which milk heats once placed in a saucepan on a stove. When comparing the time taken to reach 70 degrees Celsius with the protein, cow's milk came in at 2 minutes and 54 seconds, with the highest protein reading of 3.3 grams. Goat's milk came in second in time with 3.2 grams of protein. Oat milk at 3 minutes and 6 seconds had only 1 gram of protein. Almond milk at 3 minutes and 47 seconds had 0.6 grams of protein, which is the same as rice milk, which reached 70 degrees Celsius at 4 minutes and 43 seconds. The difference between almond milk and rice milk in time shows that protein isn't the only factor affecting time taken to heat milk. However, given the results from the cow's milk, goat's milk, oat milk, almond milk and rice milk, and how they have a perfect relationship to the several sources of error can be identified in this investigation. Firstly, additional trials are required to ensure that results are reliable. Due to the difference between test 1 and test 2 results in many of the milk types, it would be more reliable to increase the trial to at least 3 to 5 testings. This will give us a more fair and more reliable result. Secondly, greater control of the saucepan temperature prior to each trial is required. Whilst both the saucepan and cooktop were cooled prior to each individual test, residual heat could still have played a role in the results. In addition, the ingredients of the milks could be controlled to a higher standard to produce a more valid comparison. For example, the oat milk contained filtered water, whole oats, oat flour, sunflower oil, inulin, calcium phosphate, oat bran and sea salt, which compared to the reduced fat milk, which contained solely reduced fat milk, has greater ingredients. This could have played a role which could be investigated in further experiments. Despite this, the experiment and investigation has shown that cow's milk and goat's milk, the purest forms and animal-derived milks, heat up at a faster rate than oat, rice and almond milks. This has implications in the culinary world, and in cooking, different milk types are now being sought due to the increasing allergies and lactose intolerance. Whilst many just simply substitute these milks, the results of this experiment show that more consideration needs to be shown to determine the outcome of the product.